Welcome to First Unitarian Church of Orlando. I am Linnea Nelson, the chair of the worship team at 1U. Today's service is our annual station service, where we ritualize transitioning into a new year. With me in today's service are our minister, Reverend Margalie Belizaire, 1U's Director of Lifespan Religious Enrichment, Judith Stein-Farrall, and pianist Daniela Monzon Vilegas. And let's not forget our team of wonderful people in the background working diligently to ensure that we come together this morning. We greet you, old friends and new ones, as we explore our Unitarian Universalist faith, which draws us into a community of justice seekers with a commitment to lifelong spiritual growth and compassionate service to the community. As a Unitarian Universalist congregation, we are a non-creedal community that does not subscribe to a specific set of beliefs. We live by a covenant that encourages ethical behavior, affirms democracy, celebrates the worth of each individual, and unites us in a search for truth and meaning. Whether today is your first or your 1000th Sunday in our midst, you are welcome here. Whoever you are, whoever you love, you are welcome here. In this community, your whole self is welcome. We welcome your race, national origin, immigration status, gender identity, sexual orientation, age, physical or mental abilities, economic status, or religious background. We welcome you. For more information about our congregation and announcements, go to orlandouu.org or email info@orlandouu.org. Thanks again for being here online today, and Happy New Year.
I call us to worship with this prayer as the new year begins by Kate Lohr. Great Spirit of life, as a new year begins, may we turn inward to reflect about the state of our lives. What lessons have we learned in the past year, and which new ones now call us forward? To whom do we still owe an apology or expression of thanks? And with whom must we draw fresh boundaries? As we pause from our regular rhythm of rush, 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 we open ourselves to new perspectives and responsibilities. We give thanks to these moments and for the wisdom they afford us. May they help bring us together in the sacred dynamics of life so that we, as individuals and as members of this community, might reach our full potential. As we step across this threshold, let this new year be a year of greater awe and gratitude, of deeper kindness and acceptance, and more courageous acts of conviction. And for a kinder, more equitable and sustainable world is not only possible, she is on her way. And in the quietness of the sacred community, we can hear her breathing. Beloveds, let us hold these words close to our hearts as we enter into worship together.
Our chalice lighting today comes to us from Lois Van Leer on the brink of a new year. We light this chalice on the brink of a new year, letting go of what has been, open and hopeful for what may come, renewed, restored, ready to live life fully anew. May we move forward with intention.
First comes the waiting. This is the season of endings and beginnings, when the small signs of dawn pierce through the night and something new is born. But first comes the waiting. First comes the lessons of endings and beginnings, the presence of life, the sheltering spirit of love, grieves with those sweeping up the debris of loss, waits with those who restlessly reach out for change, grants us courage in the night to guard each other's dream for this holy, wondrous universe. May we loosen our grip on that which does not serve us, leaving behind that we have outgrown or outworn. Teach us the lessons of beginnings. Remind us that such waitings and endings may be a starting place, a planting of seeds which brings to birth what is ready to be born. Something right and just and different. A new song, a deeper relationship, a fuller love, and the fullness of time. Beloved, these are the words of the Reverend Jessica Hewitt, reminding us of that in-between time, the waiting. Friends, here we are at the threshold of yet another year, and it feels like we were just here. Where did an entire year go? So this has me reflecting on how we go from one thing to the next. And so often in our lives, we rush headlong into the next thing on our to-do list. And for many of us, there is no other way. So much needs to be done. But today, we invite you to honor that sacred in-between time, that transition period from one task to the other, from one moment to the next, from 1 year to the next, the waiting, which many times is non-existent to us. Today, we invite you to take a moment to slow down and linger here a bit at the doorway of this current year and what's to come, to reflect on the blessings, the lessons, the praises, the blames, the joys, and the sorrows. In this ritualistic service, we invite you to let go of that which no longer serves you, to plant seeds of intention to grow in the new year or even decade, to be blessed and bless others, to connect and to move as the Spirit moves you. During our time together this morning, we will offer you opportunities to engage in the following ways. 1, to move through embodied meditation. 2, to set intentions or aspirations as to how we can connect better as a church community this year. 3, to reflect on this past year and the lessons and gifts we can take with us into this new year and beyond. To let go and let be. And 4, to bless one another. Also, during our time together today, or preferably afterwards, if you find that you have something you've been meaning to say to someone, maybe it's one of the things that you didn't get to tend to last year, I invite you to take time to write that person a message and send it to them. Yes, even now. And I say writing versus a call, as it can be a meditative practice that is both good for you, taking the time to reflect and putting your thoughts down on paper, and for the person who would be receiving your message. And also, if you feel so moved, you can also write a letter to yourself to be open a year from now. I invite you to do so, and then drop it off at the church office, and I commit to mailing it to you a year from now, as I did last year to everyone who wrote a letter to themselves. And I tell you, last year we had about 35 people who did so. And if we were meeting in person, if you were at the in-person service, you would see that I have stationaries here available to participate in this activity. So maybe next year, if you are willing and able, you might want to come in and do participate in this service in person just to see the difference between the two. Our opening hymn, Find a Stillness, we'll serve as bookends to our time together, as well as to signal our transitions from one offering to the next. So you will hear it throughout our time together as an anchor, as a reminder in our context today to find a stillness and help create stillness for one another. So, as much as you're able, let's settle for a little bit. Let's settle in for a little bit in the waiting. And now, wherever you are, as you are willing and able, I invite you to sing along as you hear Aubrey sing hymn number 352 from the Gray Hymnal, Find a Stillness.
Find a stillness, oh, the stillness, let the stillness carry me. Find the silence, oh, the silence, let the silence carry me. In the Spirit, by the Spirit, with the Spirit giving power, I will find a true harmony. Seek the essence, oh, the essence, let the essence carry me. Let me flower, help me flower, watch me flower, carry me. In the Spirit, by the Spirit, with the Spirit giving power, I will find true harmony.
Today's Time for All Ages is a story called The Fisherman and the Businessman by Paul Coelho. Slides and reading by me, Judith Stein-Farrall. There was once a businessman who was sitting by the beach in a small Brazilian village. As he sat, he saw a Brazilian fisherman rowing a small boat towards the shore, having caught quite a few big fish. The businessman was impressed and asked the fisherman, "How long does it take you to catch so many fish?" The fisherman replied, "Oh, just a short while." "Then why don't you stay longer at sea and catch even more?" The businessman was astonished. "This is enough to feed my whole family," the fisherman said. The businessman then asked, "So what do you do for the rest of the day?" The fisherman replied, "Well, I wake up early in the morning, go to the sea and catch a few fish, then go back and play with my kids, and in the afternoon I take a nap with my wife, and when evening comes I join my buddies in the village for a drink. We play guitar, we sing and dance throughout the night." The businessman offered a suggestion to the fisherman. "I am a PhD in business management. I could help you become a more successful person. From now on, you should spend more time at sea and try to catch as many fish as possible. When you have saved enough money, you could buy a bigger boat and catch even more fish. Soon you will be able to afford to buy more boats, set up your own company, your own production plant for canned food and distribution network. By then, you will have moved out of this village and to Sao Paulo, where you can set up the headquarters to manage the other branches. The fisherman continues. And after that, the businessman laughs heartily. After that, you can live like a king in your own house, and when the time is right, you can go public and float your shares in the stock exchange, and you will be rich. The fisherman asks, and after that? The businessman says, and after that, you can finally retire. You can move to a house by the fishing village, wake up early in the morning, catch a few fish, and then return home to play with your kids. Have a nice afternoon nap with your wife. And when the evening comes, you can join your buddies for a drink, play guitar, and sing and dance throughout the night.
This is the time we set aside for deep sharing of our hearts and for prayer and meditation. Bring your joys and your sorrows as we come together. Come just as you are, because your whole self is welcome in this sacred space we are creating together. As we make space for your joys and concerns, I invite you to join in our communion of names and add the name of those who are on your heart this morning, whether due to a joy or due to a sorrow. And as we have done throughout 2023, we want to send continued prayer to our trans siblings in the state of Florida who continue to be under attack by the rules and regulations of the state. And for the larger world community, sending love, sending compassion to all those who are suffering. We know the war in Gaza continues, and so many children and so many women have died and are suffering. We hope that their pain will stop. We hope that the war will stop in a way that brings peace to that area, to the Middle East. And now, rise, embody your spirit, and engage in this embodied meditation with me. If you are willing and able, that's when I would suggest that you stand. Otherwise, this works just fine in your chair. I will do it the first time just to show it to you, just to show the movement to you. They are simple for me, but please pay attention to your own body and what it's telling you regarding the movements. May my mind be clear. May my heart be open. May my body and spirit be one, so that I may serve the world in love and return safely home. We will do this 4 times. The first time we will use mine. And during that time, please think about yourself, sending loving kindness to you. And then we'll use yours, thinking of all of the people around us, if we are not alone, other members of the congregation, the local community, and even the world. And I will say we, thinking of us as just that global community. And then we'll go back to my again. Are you ready? May my mind be clear. May my heart be open. May my body and spirit be one, so that I may serve the world in love and return safely home. May your mind be clear. May your heart be open. May your body and spirit be one, so that you may serve the world in love and return safely home. May our minds be clear. May our hearts be open. May our bodies and spirits be one, so that we may serve the world as one and return safely home. One last time now to ourselves. May my mind be clear. May my heart be open. May my body and spirit be one, so that I may serve the world in love and return safely home. We are first and foremost a religious community at First Unitarian Church of Orlando. We need one another to grow in our spirituality, as religion is best practice in community. We grow when we connect with one another and when we are intentional about nurturing healthy and supportive relationships within this community. The space of intention is sacred. An intention space is also one of commitment, a space of aspiration, where we aspire to do and be our best. So, let's always be intentional about building deeper relationships with each other and a stronger community. In that vein, I invite you to take a couple of minutes to reflect on a question which I will pose shortly and which will also be displayed on the screen. After you've reflected, write down your response on paper. And as you are willing and able, please share your response with one another in the chat. Okay, here is the question. What is one new thing you will do this year to feel more comfortable to the First Unitarian Church of Orlando community? Right? Just one new thing that you will commit to doing this year to feel more connected to this one new community. Having planted this intention into the soil of the 1U community, let's not forget to act upon it. You have outwardly shared your intention to further connect in this community this year. So remember to write it down for yourself. And after worship, you may decide to further reflect on what is needed to support you in acting on this intention. Maybe sharing it with another as a way of being accountable. That might be helpful, but whatever the case may be for you, may we connect in new ways in this community that means so much to us. May it be so.
We invite you now into the practice of generosity. It is one of our spiritual values which sustains the life and ministries of the church community. Let us be grateful for the opportunity to give, for it is a privilege to be able to do so. And let us be grateful for our needs, for they give us the opportunity to practice receiving. Our Share the Plate for January is a Holocaust Center in Maitland. Please use the link in the newsletter to donate directly. Also, please use the options on the slide to make your donation today. Your financial gift today will be joyfully received in the spirit of gratitude and fellowship.
Sometimes the healthy way forward is to leave something behind. The turning of a year is a good time to take stock of what in your life is no longer serving you. And by leaving it behind, you can focus your energy on what lies ahead. It is a way of practicing gratitude and appreciation, a way of noticing beauty within all the ugliness in the world. Yes, this past year, we collectively have had to deal with so many intense challenges in the larger world community. In addition to those that are those average challenges in our personal lives that we have to deal with anyway. And still, I am inviting you to pause for a couple of minutes and see if there is one new thing or a new way of being that you would like to continue this year and beyond. What new wondrous thing have you learned about yourself that is serving you well? What new gifts have you discovered? What new practice? So take a couple of minutes right now and reflect on the past year. Maybe play it like a video in your head, in your mind. Then As you feel moved, post in the chat. May we take what served us into the new year and leave behind what hindered us. May it be so. We are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. Pierre Teilhard de Chardin. These words resonate with my spirit, and they allow me to be grounded in the idea that all that we do has the potential to be sacred, to be holy. Ponder that a little bit. I do believe that that's true. To me, though, this requires mindfulness, intentionality, and love on our part. As spiritual beings, we have it within us to bless one another. And what better time for us to bestow blessings upon each other than at the dawn of a new year? Let's bless one another right now. Yes, right now. Let's strengthen one another's spirit for the year ahead. Maybe you want to bless all who have gathered online with you this morning with good health. Or there is one person in particular that you want to bless with peace of mind, yet others with financial stability, joy, and so on. As you are willing and able, post your blessings in the chat. Send a quick text. Make a phone call. Take a moment to bless each other. May you have deep knowing that you are blessed and you are a blessing. This is the season of endings and beginnings, when the small signs of dawn pierce through the night and something new is born. But first comes the waiting. Again, Reverend Hewitt reminds us. Dear ones, we are just 14 days into a new year. New hopes, maybe. We are still in that in-between time, that waiting. And much happens in the waiting, or much can happen. Taking stock, for example, having closed out the past year and look ahead to the next. I invite you to continue to meditate on how you journeyed last year, how your church community served you, and how you were of service to the congregation. What lessons you've learned, what blessings you received, and what blessings you bestowed. To look at it all as much as you're able, the praises, the blames, the joys, and the sorrows. Write it down. Do a video recording or an audio recording. Take a picture. Write a letter to commemorate this waiting. Maybe you'll return to it at a later time, but first comes the waiting. And I invite you to once more sing with me, Find a Stillness, our opening hymn, which is also our closing hymn.
Find a stillness, hold a stillness, let the stillness carry me. Find the silence, hold the silence, let the silence carry me. In the Spirit, by the Spirit, with the Spirit giving power, I will find true harmony. Seek the essence, hold the essence, let the essence carry me. Let me flower, help me flower, watch me flower, carry me. In the Spirit, by the Spirit, with the Spirit giving power, I will find true harmony.
Beloveds, may we move our bodies to the best of our abilities in the new year. May we find ways to further connect at the First Unitarian Church of Orlando and the larger community. And may we take what served us last year, may we take that with us into the new year, and may we leave behind what hindered us. And may we have deep knowing that we are blessed and we are blessings. May it be so. Worship has ended, and now the service truly began. And tomorrow, Monday, the 15th, is the celebration of the life of Reverend Martin Luther King. And it has been recognized as a day of service. So, as much as you are willing and able, get out there and serve. Thank you for joining us today.
We extinguish the flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.